So, welcome everyone to the Wealthy Speaker Mindset Makeover. Today, we're doing away with doubt. We're doing away with fear. We're doing away with imposter syndrome. All of the things that get us tripped up in our speaking business are somehow things that are happening with us in our mind. It's all about our thoughts. And we're going to go deep today. I'd like to think of this as a safe space, a place where you can share what's on your mind and your heart without judgment. So, to kick us off, I'd love to share two things about myself. First, I'm going to share my credibility, which you should want to know. If you're on a webinar, you kind of want to know why you should listen to somebody. So I'm going to share with you my credibility. But then I'd also like to share with you some of the rotten things that I say to myself and how I get out of them. Okay? So let me go ahead and get going. Am I even in play on this thing? Let's see. Oops, hang on. There we go. So I have been in the speaking business for, I say 30 plus years because I really don't want to take it any further than that. Like 35 feels really old, 40 feels really old. But anyway, I've been in the speaking business for 30 plus years and I've written 6 books in the speaking space. Okay. One of them we're going to talk about today is called The Wealthy Speaker Daily Success Planner and Journal. But my most recent book on the biz is called The Wealthy Speaker 3.0. And that has been a best-selling book and it's done very well. And it teaches you all of the action items in the speaking business, which you'll kind of understand why I said that here in a minute. I have, with my team, literally helped thousands of speakers transform their lives and their businesses. Okay? So this is my credibility to piece for you. A few weeks ago, my phone hadn't been ringing for a little while. My bank account was down to like $50 in my business account. And I started to let the thought spiral go. And left unchecked, that can actually be quite a problem for somebody. And if I let it go too long, I can go to a very dark place. And my central thought was, maybe nobody needs me. Maybe nobody needs me. Now, normally, if something like this occurred in my life, I would actually do all the things that I'm going to teach you all how to do. Okay? We're going to talk about all the things that I would normally do. But on this particular day, I got a text from somebody important to me. Stephanie Staples, who's a friend of mine, sent me over this text and said, just is totally out of the blue, totally random. Can you imagine? I bet you cannot how how many lives you've changed and influenced. Can you imagine? I bet you can't. How many lives you changed and influenced? And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I really needed that today. Aw, thank you. I say back to her. She goes, seriously, uh, hang on. Sorry. I'm getting messed up here. There we go. She goes, seriously, isn't it mind-blowing to think about? Don't even ask me why that thought about you came into my mind today. It just did. So I said, I love that you did, and I love that you shared it because it's easy to forget. She came to me with a beautiful, beautiful reminder that I needed on that exact day. There are days, there are moments in our lives when we need somebody just to say, hey, remember this. And what we're going to share today is how to kind of do that for yourself, how to shore up your own mindset so that you don't have to wait for a text from Stephanie Staples. You can actually do it on your own. So As you've probably some of you have heard me talk about this. This is a piece of our workbook that there are only two steps to success in speaking. Number one is an all in belief, a locked down mindset that you're in it, you're committed to it, and you're committed to taking the next right step. The second thing is consistent action. That's it. That is, I don't know how many people. Let me just go and see if I can see everybody in front of me on my screen. Raise your hand if you will, if you're new to the speaking business. I'd love to, and just use the little hand raise if you like, that's right underneath your name. If Raise your hand if you will, if you're new to the speaking business. Jurgen, thank you. Kingsley, thank you. Let me see if I've got anybody else who is new. Michael, thank you. Now, for those of you who have been around the block a time or two, let's hear our people who have been in it, let's say for a few years, not quite 20 years, but let's say for a few years, anything under 20. Raise your hand if that's you. Rebecca, yes. Monica, yes. Look at all these names that I totally recognize. Holly, wonderful. So glad. And let me see my people who have been around the block for over 20 years. And I know that there's somebody driving. You might have hopped off my screen. If you've been in the business, Lana, for over 20 years, let me hear from you. Mike was just on the line, but I think he was hopping out of his car and going into his office. Mike Lejeune is on the line. He's been around. Hi, Mike, for over 20 years. You know, we're all in this together. Susan has been around for 20 years. Thank you, Susan. Um, and even after 20 years, here you are coming to a mindset workshop. What's that all about, right? This is not a problem that, I've been doing this for over 30 years. Yet if my phone goes quiet for a month, I start to have a negative thought spiral, and that's how the mindset works. So what we're going to talk about today, it's so simple. It's mindset, mindset, and mindset. That's what we're here to talk about today. And I would love for each of you, if possible, if you can come on screen, if you can have a piece of paper or something to write on. I write on my iPad, that's my main tool. Something that you can write some things down on, because I really love you to be kind of going into this material deeply and thinking about what it is that we're doing. All right. So this is it. Step one, mindset. Oh gosh, I'm having trouble with my, I haven't done a webinar for a little while, you guys. And it seems that I'm getting my buttons mixed up. So this is kind of the primary idea here. Your thoughts equal your results. Your thoughts equal your result. You've probably heard this idea before. And the thought model that I'm about to share with you, I'm thinking you have probably seen something like it out in the world before. This is the thought model. It goes CTFAR down the left-hand side. You'll see, and I'll drill in onto each of these. Oh, let me go back and give props to Brooke Castillo. So at the beginning of COVID, I went and got myself trained in this particular thought model because I thought it was going to be a game changer for my clients, and it absolutely has been. It was 18,000 US dollars at the time, which is what, 40,000 Canadian dollars. But anyway, I invested that money, and it has been money that has paid off over and over and over again because I was helping my clients become unstoppable, and myself really, by putting these ideas into place. So this is actually the breakdown in full. Can everybody see that on the screen without too much trouble? Okay, I never know if the fonts are going to be big enough. So the C stands for circumstance. And if we go back to the circumstance that I just shared with you, let's say $50 in the bank account was the circumstance. And what we try to do is we try to just keep that neutral. 50 bucks in the bank. Boom. That's the circumstance. What's important is the thought that stems from that. And that takes us down to the T line, which is where the thought comes in. The F line allows you to think about how you feel about that particular thought. Okay, so we've got our circumstance, which is neutral. We've got our thought, that's what we think about the circumstance. And then we've got the feeling that occurs as a result. What happens next is either action or inaction. And over here at the Wealthy Speaker School and a Speaker Launcher, all day long, what we teach is action, all the right actions to take. But there's an important piece of the puzzle that I'm going to share with you here in a second. Our actions or inactions then gets us the result. Okay, so remember back to the beginning, our thoughts equal our results. This is what I think is the most important piece for speakers to get and to learn. You can take all the actions in the world, but if you do not have your thought, therefore your feeling on lockdown, you may not get the results that you want. Are you hearing that? It's big. And some of you probably already kind of know it, whether you know it kind of logically or maybe you know it subconsciously. You cannot take your actions from a feeling that is compromised, a feeling of less than. So if we were running the model on the story that I just told you, the thought was, well, maybe people don't need me anymore. The feeling was somewhere in the neighborhood of despair. And even if I kept going and kept taking action, I wouldn't have seen results. I wouldn't have seen results. Why? Because your thoughts equal your results. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples of this, but I want you to be brewing on it, and I'm going to ask you some very specific questions as we go. Okay, so let's run an unintentional thought model. So we're going to have unintentional thought models, and then we're going to switch over to intentional. So this is for the people who were just starting out. Just the circumstances, I'm in year one. The thought is after, let's say you're at the end of year one and you've been doing the things and you are feeling a little frustrated because it isn't happening fast enough. Okay, so the thought is this isn't happening fast enough. The feeling is dejected, or it could be frustrated. I'm not going to put feelings on you. I'm suggesting what it could be. And then the actions that you're taking in your speaking business to move your business forward, you're coming at them from this energy that is dejected or frustrated. And what happens if we reach out to clients from a place of frustration? We likely do not get results. Okay? Let's see. Let me go ahead and admit my people. There we go. So let's go now to an intentional thought model with the same thing. Just starting out, I'm in year one. What if your thought was, hey, I'm just following the path. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. I have a client named David Atkins who I had said we did some private coaching together for, I think, about a year and a half. And he said, really, 3 years? It takes 3 years to build a speaking business? And I said, yes, that's how long it takes. And so he came back to me at about the 2 year mark and said, I can see it, but it's not happening yet. But he had a post-it note up in front of him. I don't know if you can see that or not, but his post-it note said, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So this thought, I'm following the path, it's just a matter of the time, leads to a feeling maybe of hopeful, excited, can't wait to share. Okay, so when you go and do all the things, David was playing the numbers game. He was reaching out to, I don't know, like 100 new people each week, so 400 a month, and that would translate into 50 bookings a year. But it took him some time to build. From first, he started at 20 a year, then he got to 40 a year, and then he got himself up over the 50 mark. He was doing all the things, and because he had this kind of patient, hopeful mantra, he was getting the results. Okay, I would like to pose a question to you, and here's your question. If you have a piece of paper in front of you, I'd like you to take a couple of minutes and write down what is your primary thought about money. I'm going to write mine down too. I'll share with you what I was raised on. A lot of times, our primary thought about money goes back to how we were raised. Okay. Does anybody need more time? You got it? Okay, so here's how this is going to go. I'm going to call on some people who are in front of me on the screen, but those of you who are camera shy or are driving, you're probably not going to be able to text, but you might be able to come off mute. So I'm going to kind of keep an eye on your mute button and see if I see anything happening with that. Who would like to share? I'm happy to pick people. And you are allowed to, okay, but we have volunteers. Woohoo! Okay, Holly. I'm coming to you next. Holly, then Kingsley, then Jurgen. Holly, what's your main thought about money?
There's never enough.
There's never enough. Okay. So I'd love for you to kind of work that through the thought model. When you say there's never enough, what feeling does that give you?
Uh, that there's more and more work to be done.
Is it a feeling? So think in terms of feelings. This is a little hard for people. They usually give me more thoughts, which you did. Um, there's never enough. Does it make you feel exhausted about the feeling that there's so much work to be done?
Yeah, overwhelm.
Overwhelmed. Okay. So what that means is that you're coming at all of your actions, and here in the speaking business, it's like outbound phone calling, maybe emailing, you're doing social media, you're putting out videos, you're doing all the things. When I say all the things, that's what I mean. You're coming at all of those things from a feeling of overwhelm. And so maybe your results might be compromised as a result of that. Okay. So just be aware, be very aware. That's what I'm trying to help you draw out the feeling so that you can really realize that that's where you're coming at your actions from. Some people go into no action mode when they become overwhelmed. So just FYI on that. Kingsley, let's hear from you next, please.
One of the thoughts I used to think that was money's just used for bills.
Oh, say more about that. What do you mean by that?
Um, well, it's like all the money is there is just to pay your expenses, like nothing else. So, like the money is only used for bills. That's when it's always used for nothing else as far as, helping people out or, I just gotta make enough just for my expenses each month.
Okay. So if you think that money is only ever used for bills, how does that feel to you?
It can create a sense of anxiousness if you
Anxious.
don't have enough each month.
Yeah. Okay. I hear that. And I would also encourage you to explore a new thought about money that might kind of put you into a more abundant way of thinking about it because we know that money can help people. It can help
Mhm.
family members. It can put you in a great position for retirement. You can start creating generational wealth. I just did a podcast with Willie Jolly. It probably won't come out for a few months, but we were talking about his new book is called Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better, something like that. And it was really interesting the philosophies and how important locking down your mindset was in this
Right.
process. So that's really great for you to recognize, Kingsley, that that's what you've been thinking. Okay. So my goal is for you to be intentional and create a thought that's really going to be beneficial to you. Let's go next to Jurgen.
For me, money is an essential tool
Essential.
basically to achieve my goals. Right now, I have a goal, not related to speaking, but I have to
Okay.
get a new computer.
Okay.
Major expense, money is not there. So, money for me is an essential tool. And in order to utilize the money most efficiently, shall we say, I have to basically align my goals with a timeline. When do I want to achieve this? Yes, I want to have it tomorrow, but I can't have it tomorrow. It needs time to build up so that I can accomplish and achieve my goal and move forward from there.
Okay, so your thought is money is useful to achieve your goal. What's important is how does that make you feel? And be careful not to get into more thoughts. What we really want
Yeah,
is how
it
does that make you feel?
okay. There's always two sides to
You're going to give
everything.
me
I've
thoughts. I can tell. I can tell you're already on the path to give me more thoughts. Look into your heart and tell me money is used to achieve goals. How does that make me feel?
it feels me, it makes me feel positive because I have a
Okay.
positive outlook. I want to achieve something.
Okay, so you're
Okay.
coming at it from a place that is above the line. You know, we kind of look at this confidence line when it comes to our feelings. If you're coming at your actions, so what you'll need to do is go and do a bunch of actions that will help you get the money so that you can get your new computer. And you
Correct.
need to make sure that you're coming at those actions from above the line in terms of positive, which I feel like maybe you're doing. So just be aware of that moving forward. Okay, Jurgen?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Well, that's great. You guys are sharing, and I'm totally thrilled about that. So let me go back into your primary thought about money. Let me just run one more scenario for you. The circumstance is, okay, so this is going to be an unintentional one again. The client said no. Okay, so you've been rejected. You were up for a job. The client said, we're going a different direction. Has anybody ever heard those words? We're going a different direction. Oh, those are so fun. Um, and your thought is, oh man, I'm not good enough. And the feeling that you get from that thought is rejected. And the action that you do or don't take in this case is that that's it. I'm stopping everything. I'm throwing in the towel. What's the point? Okay. You're coming at all your actions from a place of rejected. And then, of course, we're not necessarily going to get the results from stopping everything, right? So let's go to an intentional idea. Same thing. Client said no. My pros on the line are gonna know exactly what are some Mike Lejeune, you gotta know what's your thought. Unmute yourself and tell me what is your thought when you get a no.
Oh, they don't love me. That's my original
Okay.
thought. It's
I was
rejection.
thinking that you might come to me with an intentional thought, but you're giving me an unintentional thought, which is totally fine. That's
No,
exactly what where
my
I
point
was.
is that the point is we can't control our first thought.
That's true.
We can control our second. The
Yeah.
second thought is because I make a story up about it's a false story.
Yeah.
And so what I have to do is I have to recognize that no, that's not a fact. That's a fear.
Yeah. So the intentional thought is I'll get the next one. I've been through
Mm-hmm.
this before. I haven't gotten lots of engagements over the years. Some of them have circled back to me, and some of them I never did get. That's okay. I'll get the next one. That's the
Mm-hmm.
intentional thought. We
Mm-hmm.
actually come at this from a place of calm confidence. Thank you, Mike. We come at this from a place of calm confidence. And then when we go and do all the things, which is reaching out to clients, connecting with people at live events, picking up the phone, calling people, emailing people, whatever it is, all the things, now we're going to get the results. Okay, I have another question for you all. What is your primary thought about where you are in business right now? Okay, so I've scanned you and I know that we have people who are at the very early stages and we have people who have been around this for a long, long, long time. I'm going to write down my thought. Oh, I didn't share with you my money thought, which is something that I got from my mom and my dad. Actually, my dad. Money doesn't grow on trees. Where do you think that took me? Money doesn't grow on trees. That is a scarcity thought, which many, many, many of us were raised on. Okay. Okay, moving on. What is your primary thought about where you are in business right now? Jackie, did you want to comment on this particular question? If not, I'll come
Do
back
that.
to you.
I can do that. The
Okay.
first thought that came to my mind is my business is about to take off. I'm
My
getting ready for the takeoff.
okay. So my business is about ready to take off is the thought. And when you think that thought, what feeling does it give you?
A bit positive.
Positive, yes. Excited, can't wait to share,
Yeah.
enthusiastic. For those of you who have, and Jackie is one of them, for those of you who have really ambitious goals, you've got to have a feeling that includes something around determination because calm confidence may not get you to $250,000 a year. We might need like determination built into that calm confidence in order to really go to the places we got. Who else would like to share? What is your primary thought about where you are in your business right now? Just either raise your hand physically or Monica, let's hear from you.
This feels very confronting and vulnerable to say out loud, but
Thank you for saying that. You're in a safe space with us here, Monica.
thank you. My immediate thought is that I should be so much farther along by now, and I feel that maybe I'll never figure this out.
Can we all raise our hands or do it on the with the chat icon if you can relate to what Monica just said? And my hand is raised also, Monica. Do you see how you're not alone in this?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
everybody, I would say there's nobody who's out doing the speaking business who doesn't feel like they should be further along right now. It's just, it's almost, and there's a process of that you'll read about if you've ever read the book by Dan Sullivan. This is one of my mentors, The Gap and the Gain. The idea when you measure your where you are today to where you'd like to go, it takes you into a place that he calls the gap. That's gap thinking. When you're measuring, when your yardstick is, okay, I'm making $150,000 a year, but my goal is 300. I'm in the gap, baby. I'm in the gap. But when you look backwards from where you've come, Monica, how many years are you in the business?
About 10.
You're 10 years in the business. And how different is your business from when it was in year one?
Oh, it has taken on many, many different shapes and forms and iterations. Yeah.
Night and day. If you think about your first website and all your first things, like it's laughable. And so, really be aware of that. And that's what you want to be measuring from. You started at zero and you're at whatever. I put a figure out there, but that's not your figure. Look at where you've come from. That is when you're living in the gain. Okay, that's a tool from Dan Sullivan, everybody. Mike Lejeune, what is your thought about where you are in your business right now?
What I wrote down over here, Jane, I've been saying this out loud for the last 3 months,
Okay.
is that I'm moving to another level.
Okay.
And it's not just scaling up. It has to do with moving to a level where my voice has more prominence on a national basis. I'm moving up. I'm just thinking in terms of level of size of company, level of number of engagements, level of number of coaching. I'm leveling up.
All right. And when you say I'm moving to a new level, maybe you put that on a post-it note and it's your mantra. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it just doesn't. There's an optimism because of the fact of any place that I think that I'm lacking. Well, I'm moving to another level.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Excited. And it's like my word for 2026. My wall's filled with my words from the year. My
Okay.
word for 2026 is abundance.
Oh,
And so
see, now that is a great, great, great word. And
yeah.
having worked with you in the past, Mike,
Mhm.
you've always had that kind of mindset. I don't think you've ever been a person who has been steeped in lack. So way to
Yeah.
go. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
You're welcome. But Jane, I need to say something what you said because of the fact you made it earlier. It's even as somebody who falls in the category of a professional speaker, one of the things I still fight is the word fear. That was when going back when you and I started working together. It's like I was facing that, and I think that's there's we wake up on a daily basis and have to battle in that battleground. But by focusing on abundant mindset or what have you, it's not like I wake up every day feeling it. I got to remind myself all day long that it's out there.
And that's, I'm going to share with you all some habits that we can be doing every single day that'll help to lock that in and begin your day intentionally. Because as we know, when we come at all of our actions and our to-do lists from a place of less than or scarcity, we're not going to get the results. Susan Carter, what is your thought about where you are in your business right now?
I've spent the last year writing a book.
Okay.
And not doing a lot of speaking engagements. But as the book is coming out soon, they keep saying soon, everything I feel is in place for a jump and in place to use that book.
Okay, so everything is in place. Is that your central thought then?
No.
Okay, what is your central thought?
My central thought is now I am willing to do the work and consistently and get going, because I think that's over the years, even though I've puttered in the speaking business since the last century, I have been down so many rabbit holes and have given up. Like creative thinker that I am, I think I just keep thinking of new ideas, new ideas, new ideas. Right. And I need to just say, okay, let's stick with the actual ideas that work instead of something else.
So think about how you can remind yourself of that with a mantra every day. Something says, I'm focused, I'm following one path. just figure out what words are going to keep you on track moving forward in one focused direction. I avoid rabbit holes. I'm focused. I'm doing the work. And if that leads you to a feeling of confident and moving forward, then great. That's what we're after.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
I just finished The Gap and the Gain, by the way.
Oh, beautiful. It's a good read. It's a good read. Rosemary, are you able to talk to me? You've got your hand up, so that's why I'm asking. Rosemary Ravino. There we are.
Hi there. Yes, I can't turn on my camera at this moment, but I very much identify with the concept of taking in too much information, wanting to follow that next shiny object, having very detoured and fragmented focus. And what you just said was like a spear right through my head. I just had to pull over a moment to say from driving, because that's such a profound realization that there are so many things to look at, that so and so did this worked for her, or so and so's making so much money doing something else. I want some of that. But following your own path and being committed to it, I think is fundamental.
It really is. Now, at the beginning of most of my other webinars that are kind of all business, we talk about the chocolate chip cookie recipe, that a lot of people are parsing together their speaking strategy willy-nilly. And let me explain that further. If you were going to make a batch of chocolate chip cookies, you'd go out, if you didn't have a recipe, you'd go out on the internet and you would find a recipe. I'm just going to go ahead and mute you there, Rosemary. You would find one recipe and you would follow it beginning to end. Now, you might like add nuts or you might customize it slightly, but for the most part, you would follow the recipe from beginning to end. In the speaking business, people come to a webinar, they read a book, they see somebody on YouTube, they ask ChatGPT, and they're following a patchwork. They parse together a strategy. So for those of you who are struggling with rabbit holes and focus, consider building that thought, something like, I am focused, I know how to do hard things, and I'm following one path. That can be your mantra. If that leads you to a feeling of calm and confident, then you're off to the races and you can take all the actions that are in line with that. And for anybody who doesn't have that, give the Wealthy Speaker 3.0 a read. This is literally the Wealthy Speaker 3.0. The subtitle is your recipe for building the speaking business of your dreams. I mean, this literally ready, aim, launch is the recipe to follow. And if you're not following it, then I would recommend that you do. Okay. But do you see the importance? I have this slide still up here on the screen of coming at all of the actions in the speaking business from a feeling of confidence or something above the line in terms of positivity. If you're coming at things from anything less than, you are going to struggle. Okay, so here's I think we already, well, maybe we didn't. Here's an unintentional year 10. I should be further along. Okay, that's a few of you. The feeling that might come from that is failure. And when we go to take our action, we're going to lack something. We're not going to be full on. Okay, and the result will be limited income. Let's switch that around and be intentional about it. Year 10, same circumstance. Look at where I started, baby. Look at where I've come from. My first website was utterly embarrassing. If you're not embarrassed by your earliest work, this is a Dan Miller saying, if you're not embarrassed by your earliest work, you didn't start soon enough. My first website, utterly embarrassing. The feeling, look at where I started. confident. I'm doing all the things, and of course, I'm going to get the results. Your thoughts equal your results. Now, I'm going to share with you all in the chat box a document that I created specifically for you today. This is something that can keep us on track. It's going to go into the chat box, and I'm going to share it with you on the screen. Okay, so this is called the Mindset Makeover. And what we're going to list out is all of the unintentional thoughts that could get us. Because it's not just one thought, is it? It's like, I should be further along. It's nobody needs me. It's I just had a bad speech and a bad outing. It's I can't seem to get paid what I'm worth, what I think I'm worth. It's all those things. Okay, so write down, I want you to print off this document that I just shared with you in the chat box. And I noticed somebody new just came in, so I'm going to share it again just in case you did not get that. I think it's Timothy. Welcome. Let me go ahead and share that again just in case. All right, there we go. So step number one, we're going to list out all of the unintentional thoughts that could trip us up. Then we're going to move to our intentional thoughts, and we'll decide maybe one of those intentional thoughts could be our central thought, and that will become your mantra. Okay, because there's all kinds of, obviously, there's a million thoughts that any of us could have about anything, right? And so we want to, the point is that we're getting really, really intentional. Now, I'm going to have you share one thought that you've had that doesn't serve you, but then that's unintentional. But then I also want you to share what you can replace it with, intentional. Okay, so I used to think this, but now I think this. And if anybody is kind of ready with one locked and loaded, go ahead and raise your hands. If any, I'm just going to keep my eye on the people who are off screen. And if I see anybody unmute or maybe in the chat box, just let me know something. Is it Teresa? Am I saying that correctly?
That's exactly right. Thank you. Yeah, so a thought that I had that didn't serve me was that my speech isn't ready and I'm not good enough.
I bet you if I asked for a show of hands, I bet you everybody, at least in the beginning, could have related to that. My speech isn't ready and it's not good enough, or I'm not good enough. Is that it? Do I have
Yeah.
it right? Okay. And what can you replace that with? Like, I really want anybody who's like a psychology major knows that this is deeper stuff, okay? What we're doing is we're placing a Band-Aid on it, but I'm giving you some tools that if you start using them every day, it can be really, really helpful. So what can we replace that with, Teresa?
The evidence that people are booking me and there's buzz in the room when I'm done and they've already invited me back.
Ah, beautiful. Okay, so think about how to lock that into one powerful statement that gives you a feeling of like confidence moving forward. It made me, who popped into their mind thinking about Sally Field. You like me, you really like me, you know, when she won her Academy Award. You know, people love my material. It could be, I'm getting booked, I'm getting results. You could tell yourself that. Think about one idea that could allow you to pull it all together into your mantra moving forward. Okay. Thank you for that. Beautiful. Who else would like to share? Go ahead, Mike.
I have turned 69 in November.
Happy birthday.
And thank you very much. Appreciate that. Unfortunately, with that age thing ageism kicks in my mind, the battleground for me is I'm too old to have relevance.
Yeah.
Not just too old to have relevance. You know, younger people, technology, or what have you.
Yep.
And so what happens is that means there's a devaluation that goes on.
Yep.
So what I wrote down as you were saying that is I'm a wise sage.
I'm the wise sage. And when you say to yourself, I'm the wise sage, what feeling does that give you, Mike?
One is that what I know, and I'm going to tie this back into
Giving me more thoughts. What's your feeling?
But there's a feeling that ties into it. It has to do with this book that's on the wall right here, Secrets for Hiring Right. 8 years ago, I was working with Jane. She goes, go write that book. It took me 8 years to write it. Right? It came out because I kept saying there's no value in it. Right? Because what I know is too simple. There's no value in it. I've had more buzz within my client base because I realized the feeling is what I know as a wise sage not only is appreciated, but people are willing to pay money for it. There's value that goes with that.
Okay, so appreciated can be the feeling that you're taking all your actions from. The wise sage is appreciated. I love that.
And relevant. And for me, it has to be in the battleground that I fight is relevance.
Relevant, yes, for sure. Yeah, what I have is relevant. And that feeling is also perhaps appreciated. Congratulations. Say the name of the book again for everybody.
Secrets for Hiring Right.
Secrets for Hiring Right. Congratulations. It only took 8 years. Way to go.
It only took 8 years. And Jane is the one who helped me come up with that title 8 years ago. You got to go write that book. I don't want to.
There you go. Better late than never.
No, it came out. I was in its right time. I wasn't ready.
And when you've been around the block a time or two, a new book can light your fire on something, new. When we introduced, I have been doing this, as you know, for over 30 years, and things can get kind of tiresome. And you start to ask yourself, do I want to keep doing this? It feels like a bit of a slog, but some new thing can energize us. And recently I had an interview with Ryan Estes, and he said that all the actions things, the old outbound smiling and dialing wasn't really working for them the same way. And so he started to ask a better question. The first question was, how do I find business? The second question was, how does business find me? So now here at Speaker Launcher, we have a new kind of philosophy that includes like this magnet idea. We're going to attract, pull, and we're going to also continue the outbound, which is push. So we're going to have a push-pull idea. Jürgen, did you want to share your old intention and your intentional thought, your old unintentional thought and your new intentional thought?
Well, there really was no old unintentional thought.
Okay.
But what I was getting at was basically towards your last question, that there was too much information as I'm going along. A bit of a background on that. I am in the process of writing a keynote, and I have revised that. It is on dealing with emotions for cancer patients and caregivers. And as I go along, I find more aspects of it. So it almost grows out like a tree, and that's the unintentional part of it. So I have to scale it back to what do I really want to get across.
What's the problem you're solving? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem that has to be solved, if I can put it that way. But I don't want to get sidetracked into 10 or 12 different directions. If anything at all, I can cut into them and leave it for a breakout.
Yeah. So keeping on the thought train, what is your intentional thought that you have to get to the end of this project? I will choose.
The intentional thought is to bring the emotion out in the people to make them feel worthy. That is the key that I want to get across,
So
that you
making
are
people
worth
feel
something.
worthy. My goal is to make people feel worthy. And that can come from a feeling that is going to be somehow positive. And if you keep your eye on the ball, then you'll be able to avoid the rabbit holes and have it be a really long time before you get your book out. So congratulations on that. That's a wonderful book that's very, very needed. Congratulations. All right, we're going to move forward. When you figure out your old thought, your new thought may become your mantra. And had I, remember the story I told you about 50 bucks in my bank account, had I reminded myself of my mantra, which is people need me now more than ever. There's so many changes happening in the speaking business that people need me now more than ever. And I've had to remind myself, I've had that Post-it note up since COVID because it's a good one and it really got me through something big at COVID. Think about putting, back to our form here, think about putting your one mantra as your third column there. Sorry, I did that wrong. Think about putting your mantra in that third column. The mantra can be nice and big and take up your whole column. Then it's going to be transferred over to a Post-it note. And I would love you to be looking at that Post-it note every single day. And that will allow you to stay on track. Now, there's something else I want to share with you. This we've kind of covered, but I think that it's worth repeating. You absolutely cannot take a whole bunch of actions in the speaking business from a place of less than or feeling unworthy. So really work on the thought and really work on the feeling from the thought so that you're taking your actions from the right place. Now, let me give you some habits. These are going to be things that I've been doing for quite some time. They're things that I write about, things that my clients are doing. Very, very helpful. Number one, we want to set an intention every day. And maybe even writing down your mantra every day will allow you to set that intention. For those of you who feel like this is really hard, have you ever done anything hard before? You can do hard things. We can all do hard things. Your mantra might be, I can do hard things. And that might be what you start with your writing every morning. We want to spend time in your journal, especially when you are feeling less than. I want you to journal your way through that. The first couple of pages is going to be all the negative self-talk. We're going to get it out of your body and onto the page. We're going to release it. Maybe we rip out the pages and burn them. That could be cathartic. And then the next couple of pages, I want you to get really intentional about what you're telling yourself. Okay, so spend some time in your journal. And then I have a gift for you, which is the Wealthy Speaker Meditation. Now, let me just see if I can find my links. Here we go. Now, we have a special one that was done just for us inside our school, but I'm going to give you one that is available out on YouTube, and you can, it's pretty similar. There's not a lot of difference. This is the Wealthy Speaker Meditation. And I prescribe that when you are in any kind of money woe, you listen to 30 days of the Wealthy Speaker Meditation. That has brought me through so many times. And, I know now, even though there have been times in my career that I didn't know it, I know now that this too shall pass. And I also could have a Post-it note. I don't have one, but I do tell myself this, It only takes one client for me to feel a lot different. And for most of you, it only takes one client to feel a lot different about your financial situation. Jackie, you had your hand up. Did you want to ask a question?
No, it was related to the previous question. So actually, I should lower my hand.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you've got your meditation, you've got your habits. Let me give you a couple of tools. I've done it again. Hang on. Hang on. Here we go. I want to share with you a couple of notes from inside, or a couple of pages from inside the Wealthy Speaker Daily Success Planner and Journal. Now, me and Amazon are having some issues. They want to sell it for $47. I do not want to sell it for $47. I want to sell it for $25. So just know that if I win, it will be available to you on Amazon for $25. And they actually do print on demand for this. Like, look at this. It's a hardcover. I had one of my team members purchase it so we could test it and make sure it's looking good. And so that is available out on Amazon. I'll share with you a link where you can go actually also and get it in a format that is the e-version. I don't know how many of you have an iPad, but I have transferred all of my stuff over to the iPad, and I now do my journaling in my iPad. So let me just show you our page that has both options there. So take a look at that. Hopefully I can get my Amazon prices to where I would like them to be. And I hope you'll be able to take advantage of that, because here's what's in the book. Every Monday morning, you're going to set off with an intention. What's the theme for this week? And your theme might be, I'm going to book some business. Your theme might be, I'm going to work on the new system. Your theme might be, I'm going to work on the new speech. Whatever it is, that will get you focused for what the theme is for the week. What are my marketing initiatives this week? We lay it all out for you. You know, am I going to do my podcast? Am I going to write a book? Am I going to work on social media? All of the things, you're just going to map it right out there. What would make me feel great about this week? We're kind of setting ourselves up for success. And you can actually take some of these ideas and build them into your own journaling if you would like. That's definitely an option for you. We've got on the, let's see, intention for the day, every day after Monday. We've got an intention for the day. And then we've got a little confidence booster. What do I have going for me? What's my mantra? What type of day is this? Is this a speaking day or a free day? Is it a client focused day or a writing day? Let's get really clear on that. What am I grateful for? How will I feed my mind, body, and spirit? Now, my final slide for you today is just this idea that, you know, you've all come to me as experts in the speaking space. And I want to tell you, you are enough. 100% as is, you are enough. Some of you might need little tweaks over here and over there. Maybe your speech needs one more story, whatever it might be, but you come to the table as a human being. You are enough. And I hope that you will hear that from me here today. For those of you who need some help shoring up in that whole mindset department, I actually just opened up a personal coaching page. I'll put the link over on in the chat box for you. The personal coaching page is all about giving you an opportunity to get coached at a little bit different price than my business coaching. My business coaching can be a little bit more expensive than this. So this is an opportunity for you. It's kind of a an early starting point for me. And the prices may change at some point in time. I'm not sure, but that's an introductory offer on an introductory page for personal coaching. That's the mindset piece. We wouldn't be talking about business. We would be talking about your mindset and all of the things that might be getting in your way. So I would like to hear from each of you one thing that you are going to adopt as a result of today's topic about the mindset makeover. Jürgen, let's hear really quickly one thing that you are going to do differently.
Consistency in my approach.
Okay, wonderful. Kingsley, one thing.
Make sure that my feelings align with the action I want to take.
Yes, so good. Jennifer, what's one thing you're going to do?
Get back to journaling.
Nice, nice. Jackie, what's one thing you're going to do?
I wrote down what was the old intentional thought and the new replacement intentional thought. So I'm going to write it not on a post-it, but on a cue card and post it on my board like this.
I love that. I love that. I have my handy dandy. Oh, they're not there anymore. Here they are. I have my handy dandy cards always. I love a good index card. Monica, what's the one thing you're going to do?
Listen to the Wealthy Speaker meditation every day for the next 2 or 3 weeks at least.
I love that. Woohoo! Report back. Let me know how
I
that
will.
goes. All right. Susan, what's one thing you're going to do?
Keep being consistent. I have a bad tendency to just stop.
Okay. Keep
And
going.
contact those people every day.
Okay. Mike, what's one thing you're going to do?
This is sort of as a reminder for what's over my shoulder, but you can't see it, but it's I wrote down, excuse me, unconditional confidence.
Unconditional confidence. Beautiful.
Unconditional confidence is a great reminder because that needs to be my intentional thought to replace this list of unintentional thoughts that I have.
Okay. If anybody's off camera and wants to put in the chat box what their one thing different that they're going to do, feel free to do that. Lana, what's one thing you're going to do? And thank you for being here, by the way.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm so enjoying this. Thank you, Jane. Keep on the path. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Do the work. Stop jumping around. Believe in yourself. Yay.
Okay, yay. Timothy, what's one thing you're going to do? You'll have to unmute yourself. You'll have to unmute yourself. There we go.
I'm basically going to change my thought process to be more into it and focused.
Okay, beautiful. Sheila, what's one thing you're going to do?
Pause and follow through with my intentions.
Okay, nice. I love that. Allison Graham, good to see you. What's one thing you're going to do as a result of today?
Well, I've been listening the whole time, just for the record, just off camera. So I think I really have to examine my thought process. There were two things that really shone for me. Number one, I heard other people say things and they mirror mine, which is everything is future paced. It's going to come together eventually. And I've always had that huge belief, but it's like, I'm done with eventually. It's got to be today. So I'm actually going to reframe those thoughts to be like, it's happening now instead of tomorrow. Nice. And also just recognizing a great reminder to actually look at what are those thoughts? Because a lot of them I put in the chat, like, oh God, here we go again. The marketing's not working. I've got to go fix it again. And maybe I just have to stick to my guns and keep going.
Yeah.
And remember the value.
I think it's really interesting to try and find the joy in what is today.
Absolutely.
Right? Find the joy in what it is, what you love about your business today. Now, I'm not going to ask the people who are on camera, unmuted on camera. I'm going to just watch the chat. I'm going to watch if anybody unmutes themselves. I'll assume that you'd like to speak. Okay, I like intentional journaling. I'm getting from David. Thank you. Let's see if there's any others here that I missed. Beautiful. I do have some questions about that. Allison said earlier, what was that? How do you separate past failures from the attitude and mantra without calling it bullshit? So Mike and I shared an experience together. We went to a National Speakers Association conference. You remember this, Mike? And a speaker, it was when they first introduced the idea of like TED Talk style speakers. They only got 15 minutes or something like that. And this gentleman, I could not tell you his name because I didn't lock that down. It was really the experience that I locked in. This gentleman got up and he bombed. He froze in front of all of his peers, 3,000 people. And so he was in his head and he had a thought and it froze him up and he bombed. So the next day, Mike and I happened to be sitting next to each other and they gave him another chance. Oh, and we had never seen that happen at NSA before. Normally, if somebody bombs, you don't get a second chance. Well, they let him have another chance. So Mike and I are sitting there bawling our eyes out, watching this guy who clearly had changed his thought. And when you've had a bad experience, a failure, a bad outing, Lord knows, I have had so many launches where I expected to see cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching to come across my screen where it was absolute crickets. What do you do from that? I like to give myself like maybe a day and a half, 2 days to wallow in the misery of, well, that was a big old failure. And then I pick myself up, I dust myself off, and I remind myself that I can do hard things. And then I go forward. And Allison, is there anything specific you want to add to that or say about that?
Well, I think you were talking about the mindset at the time when I put that in, and it was just like I can be, because I've been in this business for 18 years, right? And like I just got published in Success Magazine and I should be on top of my thing, but the story is, yeah, but I haven't had any calls from it. Like, you know, right? And it's like, but then you have a gig where I try to give too much information and it's like that should have turned into, you know, I had an opportunity a few years ago where there were like 3,000 people in the audience and I did okay, but it wasn't fantastic.
Yeah.
And it didn't lead to anything. So now it's like, well, this is
Okay,
the mindset trick,
I want
right?
something for you to try.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to try the next time you're in a high stakes setting. I want you to take it off of you and make it about them and make it about service and not have the idea that if I don't get 3 leads from this, then it was a failure. You know, I want from this particular event. I want from that magazine article this particular outcome. Let's take all the outcomes off the table and look at whether or not we can adopt a mindset of service. And
Honestly, it's the only reason I'm still in business.
okay,
If I didn't have that attitude,
yeah,
I would not exist.
Okay. Well, when I've had a client who has had, and it was actually Ryan, who had a very, very rough outing. He had a bomb so bad that he had to give $30,000 back. Okay. A bomb.
Ryan Estes had a bomb.
Ryan Estes had a bomb so bad. This is in the cone of silence, by the way. I'm pretty sure he would talk about it if I asked him specifically. He bombed. And the way that I got him out of it was to turn it around and make it about them and not him. He just had to take it off of himself. And so, Ryan, do you want to keep serving people? Yes, I do. Ryan, do you have something good to share with people? Yes, I do. Is there value in what you're offering? Yes, there is. Okay, go back out there and get back on the horse. And that's what he did. And, you know, that's in his rear view by probably 10 years now. So I just want you to know that that to me is the best trick, is not making it about yourself or the having a specific outcome in mind. You just go to serve. Then, you know, and I was here to serve you guys today. And I screwed up on the PowerPoint, I don't know how many times, and I could probably beat myself up for that later on. But you know what? I was really just here to serve. And that's what I'm going to stick with into this evening. Okay, so does anybody have any questions before we wrap for the day? Let me see, there's a new comment here. And you did, for sure. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any questions before we wrap for the day? Lana.
Yes, thanks again, Jane. The one question I had was when it came back from our intentional thought, say, I'm not good enough, to changing that thought to my unintentional thought, sorry, and changing that to an intentional, genuine thought, because you were mentioning that it has to be genuine for you to believe in it.
Yeah, you can't BS yourself into this working. The thought that you have to have needs to be steeped in truth for you. So talk me through what you think the thought could be. Your intention.
So my intentional thought could be, look at your past feedback. After, you know, many workshops I've done, most of them, and I mean, I stopped beating myself up about getting, you know, the odd one that is just really bad, because it happens all the time, right?
Yeah, you're going to get 10% of the audience is not going to like you. Sometimes it's a little bit more. And we tend to hyper focus on the 10% instead of the 90%. So your thought could be something along the lines of, look at what you've done. Look at what you've done. And does that land for you? And does it create a feeling for you of, yeah, look at what I've done.
Right.
Yeah, damn it. Look at what I've done. Does that do the trick for you?
Well, right. And I see what you're getting at is just digging and looking. And sometimes, and I don't think I'm alone in this, that it's almost like we don't want to go there. I don't know what that is.
You don't want to go where?
Well, you know, like to look at, it's almost like sometimes you want to wallow in and go, well, yeah, that isn't going to work for me.
Okay.
But every time I go and I have a file, and I haven't taken my file out for a while, that has all my great feedback, and I need to keep filling that file and having it handy. And I work well with a paper file because I don't have to look for it anywhere. It's just there. Print it off, damn it, and do it.
That's your Attagirl file. And you're gonna sink into that Attagirl. Allison, same with you. Go through that file anytime you need a little push, anytime you need a little something. Maybe you're trying to create something new and you're feeling stunted, or maybe you have had a bad outing. There's always one person in every audience who needs you. And only one person gets the message, then okay, I guess you've done your job. Now, when you've had a bad outing, which we all have, the question is, how long are you going to give yourself? Put a time limit on it. Wallow. Okay, I sucked. Okay, give yourself 48 hours or a day or whatever you want. And then say, all right, I'm done with that. What is there to learn? And what's my mantra going forward? Go back through your Attaboy or Attagirl file that has all your testimonials in it. Prop yourself up, get an intentional thought going in your mantra, and then move forward. Because there's no one amongst us who has not had an epic failure. myself included, multiple epic failures. And here we are. We're keep moving forward. We keep going. Okay? Jackie, did you want to add something?
Well, I have a question in a different direction.
Okay.
So I'm very good at high stakes situation. I'm very good at turning things around when I'm bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a problem for me. I'm
Okay.
very good at really that positive self-talk. That I think now it just come to mind that one thing that really hinders me, that really pulls me from behind is because I think we talk about in our private coaching session, I don't fit into the cultural norm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, and I have had an incident that really a backlash. I have had experienced a backlash. So from time to time, at the back of my mind, I might unconsciously and intentionally telling myself to be small, to fit
So
into my cultural norm.
what I want you to do is to go back to the worksheet that we shared with you today. And I want you to put under unintentional thoughts, I don't fit into the cultural norm. And I want you to decide what you want to think about that. I can't tell you what to think about that, but I can tell you that there's a fix to it on the other side, which would be intentional. You decide what you want to think about that. And it could be something about the value that you're bringing to the table. And I'm not going to let culture get in the way or something like that, just to give you a few ideas. But
Yeah,
yeah, you decide, okay?
I got it already. I think they're
Okay.
fine. I'm not.
You want
Okay,
to
I got
share?
it. Yeah. Let me find a worksheet to fit into the pattern. So let me find so the circumstance is let's see. C for circumstance was I don't fit into the cultural norm of an Asian woman.
Uh-huh.
T for thought. So be it, I cannot be everything to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is I'm here to serve and share my exceptional wisdoms to those who need me right here, right now.
And what feeling does that give you?
That feeling gives me a sense of purpose.
Okay. And let me just add a little onto this, because you could take a look at your intentional thought and ask yourself, maybe this is an advantage. Could
Yeah.
I use this as an opportunity? Yeah. Mike, what do you want to say? Mike said,
The question that popped into my mind was change the question of where do you fit into the cultural norm? Because there's certain, when you were saying this, I can think of so many ways that your relevance and, that your message has high value, that you need to be addressing today's culture, and people would reach into that. And it's the question we ask ourselves is where the limitations go down. So that's where my mind went.
okay, well, I think it could be a competitive advantage. So
Yes, very much so.
let's look at it through a different lens. You guys, I can't remember if I told you 75 minutes or 90 minutes, so I'm going to let you go now. And I want to say thank you for showing up, and thank you for showing up real and authentic and bearing your things that scare you the most. Like, how brave are you all for being here and allowing us to see the things that you're most fearful of? My old boss, Peter Legg, who is a multimillionaire out in Vancouver, BC, a magazine publishing magnate, had a phrase for me that has saved me time and time again, is that most decisions based in fear are typically wrong. Most decisions based in fear are typically wrong. Our unintentional thoughts typically come from a place of fear.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm going to leave you with today. And thank you for being here with us. Damalaire, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you so much for joining us in this session. Let me see who else I wasn't able to acknowledge. The Michael Arnold, thank you for being here. I think I spoke to everybody else. I appreciate you all, and let me know if I can be of service for you at some point in the future. All right, with that, we're going to say see you soon, wealthy speakers. Bye for now.
So good
Bye-bye.
seeing you.